I'm going to be calling to order the Hawaii State Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, Queer Plus Commission meeting for December 8th, 2025 at 2:33 p.m. All right, I'm going to do a roll call. I'm here, Sandy Harjo Livingston, the chair. Vice Chair Michael Golojuch.
Here.
Secretary Philip Steinbacher is absent with a excused absence, as well as Finance Director Joseph Rocco. All right, to our commissioners, our voting members, Shanda Brack.
I am here. Richmond Brack is also in the house, but not listening.
Thank you. Kathleen Odell.
I'm here, alone in the room.
Thank you. Joe Tolbe.
I'm here, alone in the room.
Thank you, Joe. And Richard.
Here, no one in the room.
Thank you, Richard. All right, our ex-officios, Superintendent of Education designee Beth Schimmelfennig, Director of the Department of Education Civil Rights Compliance Office.
Hi, my name is Rhonda Wong. Beth couldn't make it today, so I'm sitting in for her for the DOE.
Thank you, Rhonda. Next, we have President of University of Hawaii System designee Dr. Camaron Miyamoto, Director of LGBTQ Plus Center, UH Mānoa.
Hi, this is Lexa Chow, she, her. I'm at Leeward Community College representing in Cameron's place. Thank you. And I'm on my own.
Thank you, Lexi. Next, we have Director of Labor and Industrial Relations designee David Rodriguez, State's Equal Opportunity Officer. Next, we have Director of Human Resources Development designee Sine Nakamura Dereza, EEO Administrator.
Hi, I'm here. No one's in the room with me. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we have Director of Human Services designee Jonathan Kimura, Executive Specialist.
Hello, everyone. I'm here. No one else is in the room.
Thank you. Next, we have Director of Health designee Thaddeus Pham, MPH Viral Hepatitis Prevention Coordinator, Harm Reduction Services Branch.
Aloha Commission, Thaddeus Pham here, he, him, and no one else is in the room with me.
Thank you, Thaddeus. All right, any guests that we have here tonight?
Our presenter later, so.
Okay. And comment on receipt of written testimony. Do we have any regarding the
We received there was 2 late pieces of testimony, but nothing on an agenda item.
okay. All right, now we have member shares, concerns, and reports. Our commissioners, I'll start out. I just want to remind our commissioners to make sure to take a look at the agenda and the board packet before coming in, so that we don't bog ourselves down with questions that can easily be answered. Take a look at that. But I want to wish everyone happy holidays, and I'm glad you're here for our last commission meeting for the year of 2026. And I'll be handing it over to Michael next.
You saw what was in my board packet. I did repeat a bunch of stuff since we really didn't have a full meeting last time due to the issues with the internet. But there is some good news that came out yesterday. In the military budget, they have taken out the military. I forget what exactly called at the federal level, but they are no longer banning access to gender affirming care for the military. And so that's being stripped out. There is some still nasty stuff in there when it comes to, of course, everything anti-DEI and ban on trans people playing sports, but access to healthcare. So unfortunately, we got to take the wins where we can find them. And again, just happy anniversary to everybody celebrating 12 years this month to marriage equality here in the Aloha State.
All right, next we have Shanda.
Aloha, thank you. I have 2 things. One, I wanted to recognize that Kunani Driver was recognized by Hawaii Health and Harm Reduction on World AIDS Day as being instrumental in helping our state with combating the spread of HIV. And then also, I wanted to correct some misinformation regarding gender affirming care for youth and help people understand what's really going on. Transgender and gender expansive youth that seek care always do so with parental involvement and consent, just like every other aspect of healthcare that happens. As anyone who's ever tried to take their Hanai niece, nephew, or grandkid to the pediatrician for a school physical knows, they're very rigid on that. You don't get healthcare without parental consent and involvement. And I would say 90% of the time, gender affirming care means talk story. Ask the kid and family about their experiences and feelings, answering questions about what their future might be like, and helping them learn to navigate social support and affirming their gender, which means hair, clothes, pronouns, that kind of stuff, so that they can express themselves appropriately. There were some early studies using flawed methodology for the American Psychological Association. For example, they counted all referrals to a gender clinic rather than self-report. So many of these kids weren't trans. They didn't say they were trans, and well, they didn't stay trans because they actually weren't. Imagine a pediatrician who refers a kid who looks a little different to a gender clinic. Turns out they're not trans. Well, you could just ask them, and we would have known they weren't trans in the first place. But when you look at kids who self-report being trans, they rarely change their mind. When kids say they're trans, they are. They may have to hide it to protect themselves. But think back to kindergarten. When the teacher said, make 2 lines, boys and girls, we all knew which line we were supposed to be in. For trans kids, they wanted to be in a different line. They knew the other line was right for them, but they knew which one they were supposed to be in. And they also know the line they're expected to be in isn't the one that feels right for them. A 2022 study by Olson et al. In the Journal of American Academy of Pediatrics showed that of 317 youth, only 2.5% of the kids who transitioned later said they weren't trans. So, and research on adults shows that the vast majority of the time when people go back, it's due to societal pressure, not because they actually weren't trans. So thank you and happy end of year.
Thank you, Shanda. All right, next we have Kathleen.
I just wanted to say I was sorry to miss the last 2 meetings. I was on the continent for conferences, so happy to be back today. Thank you.
Welcome back. Thank you. All right, next we have Joe.
Nothing to report here. We had a nice World AIDS Day event, as well as the one before that, with remembering those who had passed away prior to the first AIDS Day event. So yeah.
Thank you, Joe. Next we have Rick.
Yeah. Thank you. 2 things. That is big news, Michael. Thank you. I did not hear anything about the DoD budget, so I would really be interested in finding that. Thank you very much. I also need to tell everyone that I have received a lot of feedback regarding a planned travel to go to the National Task Force meeting, Creating Change in Washington, D.C. next month. I believe that is on our agenda for later. I meant to bring it up last month, but we curtailed a little bit early. So hopefully we'll have some time today to bring that up and bring a discussion forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. All right, next we have Rhonda Wong.
Hold on, Rhonda. I didn't make you a co-host, so I'm gonna. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that while
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I couldn't unmute. I don't have any new news.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Rhonda.
you.
Next we have Lexi. I apologize, I couldn't hear your last name.
Hold on, Lexer, let me give you the ability to unmute. Oh, there you go, just did that.
Lecture two, okay.
Hi. Yes, Chou is my last name. Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, just from the UH system, we are trying to work on different policies. So we have the chosen name policy already in place. I can actually put that in link if you all are interested. And so essentially that means that students can submit for their name in our systems, right? So anything that is not legal. So transcript is legal. So the student still has to have their name in their legal name for their transcript, since it's a legal document, but anything else such as diploma and their emails, how their name is on our registration systems, things like that can be in their chosen name. And then our system is working on having pronouns in there as well, but we're working on how they can have their chosen name on their diploma. So we hope to have that in place by the spring, May graduations, because as of now, yeah, it's a policy, but there is no logistics for it of, how do they apply? Do they have to pay for it? Things like that. So I'll put it in the chat, the policy, just so that you all can see it. But that's a big one. And we're trying to work on chosen name policy for our faculty and staff, because it's very odd. They can change their name as a student. So if I'm a student now, my name is Lexer Chow. My legal name is Alexandra Chow. But when I get hired, I mean, just like now, as being hired at Leeward Community College, my name would go back to Alexandra Chow. So it would not, our legal name goes back when we are employed. So it's a very odd system. So we're trying to work on that policy.
Thank you, Lexer. All right, next we have Sydney.
Nothing new. No updates for us. Thanks.
Thank you. Next we have Jonathan.
Hi, no updates for DHS. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have Thaddeus.
No updates from the Department of Health. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, let's see. Finance Director's report. He is not here today, so we're not having that. Official communications for state officials. I don't believe we have any of that.
Nothing.
Okay. Any public testimony on shares?
Raise your hand if you're online. Anybody in the room?
Is this an opportunity to speak on any subject?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yes.
What's your name?
Gina Thielen.
Gina Thielen, thank you.
Is it okay if I get a little closer to my voice?
Yeah.
You're welcome to sit at the table too.
That's good. It's not too bad. So I'm just here as a follow-up to the Civil Beat article that appeared last week regarding access to gender affirming care and some of the obstacles that are being faced. I was one of the people that was featured in the article. I'm interested in continuing to try and work on improving that situation, hopefully with the help of the state and the State Insurance Commission, but not exactly sure where to start, so I figured I would just come here today and ask.
Awesome. Well, it is good that you're here. It'll give you an opportunity to meet people network, get some names, and figure out where to start. Thank you for coming. Sure. Okay.
Okay, we have one person online, phone number, last number, 0320.
All right, 0320. You have 1 minute.
Oh, come on, man.
You hear me?
Okay, now you have 1 minute. Yes. we can hear
Okay.
you now.
Thank you. Aloha, Chair and board members. Mahalo nui for the opportunity to speak about the dangers of gender-affirming care for minors. My testimony is based on the July 9th Gender-Affirming Care Workshop by the Federal Trade Commission. I'm here to share a synopsis of the concerns and experience of parents and young people harmed by rushed experimental medical interventions marketed as life-saving. Whistleblowers from prestigious children's hospitals reveal a profit-driven industry that lies to parents, conceals risk, and rushes kids onto a medical pathway. European countries are also reversing course on these treatments due to a lack of evidence that children can be born in the wrong body and that mutilating their healthy organs is the solution. the FTC is investigating these practices as potential violations of consumer protection laws, given the false claims. So it's time for us to take a stand against the medical scandal that is harming our keiki. This commission must immediately call for a ban on puberty blockers,
Thank you very much. All right, we're moving on to guest presentations. We have Honolulu City and County Council Member Tyler Dos Santos. The designee, I believe, is someone else. Is that
Peggy, yep.
Peggy, all right, Peggy will be speaking on Tyler Dos Santos Town's behalf. And we will be talking about the 2026 charter amendment process. And this item was added on Monday, December 1st, 2026. Take it away, Peggy.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Peggy Mariswala for Councilmember Tyler Dos Santos Tam. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you folks. And there we go. So I'm just going to go over a little bit what the charter is and who the commissioners are and the proposal that we've submitted through our office. So the revised charter of the city and county is basically similar to a city constitution. It lays out the essential functions and expectations of the mayor, the council, and the departments, and it helps them to give guidelines to carry out their work. And then the Charter Commission meets once every 10 years, and it's 13 people. And they're going to look at the charter to review outdated language, fix different inefficiencies, look for ways to improve how the city and county can serve the community. Their recommended updates will appear as ballot questions in November 2026, and the voters make the final decision during that process. The group is now reviewing the submitted proposals, and the proposal window closed on November 7th. So these proposals really are looking to do things like improve the city, how it serves its community and its residents, address government transparency, accountability, or efficiency. And really, it's just to make the city and county a better place. So, yeah. Timeline of what's happening. So proposals were submitted, and now we're in the red circled area, this public review and hearings process. So during that process, the next meeting is going to be on the 15th, and they are subject to sunshine too, so their agenda will post tomorrow. I was looking for the agenda, and I'll drop the link so you can be notified for those meetings. Because this is our proposal that I want to share with you folks. It's proposal 239, and it's the establishment of an LGBTQIA+ commission for the city and county. So sort of trying to, I don't want to say mirror or copy what the state is doing, because you folks have a much different purview, but to ensure that we have this commission sitting at the city and county, taking a look and interacting with the public and talking about and reviewing many, many important items. So this amendment, the commission we propose that it would sit under sort of the mayor's office and inside the managing director's office. And then the commission would be an advisory to the mayor, city council, and the departments on issuing issues impacting the LGBTQIA+ community. So this is in there, and I will say this doesn't necessarily mean that the mayor would do it. Once it goes into our charter, we have to make sure that the mayor picks out the commissioners and make sure it runs. This gives the ability of having that commission and making it sit within the managing director's office. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a cold. So what does that mean? It means that right now the commissioners are reviewing I think there's like 243 proposals, and they've kind of separated them into various buckets. And it was not clear where proposal 239 was going to sit, but in a way, really the most important is to be watching the agendas as they come out to see if it comes up. Once it does come up, working together to alert community advocates, friends and neighbors, whoever you can, to get to submit testimony to talk about why having a commission at the county level would be really important. Side note here, just because there's a commission doesn't mean there's a staff person for that commission. And I would say that maybe I'll come back closer to the budget time and we can talk about asking for a position to support that commission, because things run better when the staff is behind it, supporting. So anyway, during this process, communication and advocacy are definitely key. If this is something you're interested in supporting and, getting out the word on, maybe coming up with some things even before we see it on an agenda is really important. So when the agenda comes out, the alerts are ready to go. And then, as you know, community can be part of the change. So that's kind of the whole reason I work in government. Okay, so in May through July, the final proposals will be selected. And then after that comes this really important part of education, and that's educating the public and the voters, because I don't know how many of you pay close attention to the charter amendments when they come out, but a lot of times they are confusing and people aren't quite sure how to vote always. So really getting out there and explaining the importance of why people need to vote for this commission is key. And the wording for that we can work on further down the line, but I just want to put that out there. All of these pieces are going to be coming at us. And so we have the proposal submitted, sign up for the alerts and become involved. I feel like I do not have to preach that to this group too much. Become part of the hearing process and advocacy and outreach. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, when this is on the ballot, we can work on how to do community education for the November 2026 election. And then my last slide is just the general election day when the public votes, and that's when it would pass or not. With other, and remember, there's going to be several, I'm sure, on the agenda, I'm sorry, on the ballot. But yeah, that's it. Sort of short, sweet, and simple. If you have questions, feel free. If you don't have a question right now, I'll put my information also in the chat. And like I said, I'm going to put the link to sign up. It's a Google Sheet. The link to sign up for alerts in there as well.
Thank you, Peggy.
You're welcome.
All right, so we are going to be moving on to our.
Go
ahead.
First, I would like to thank Peggy for coming, because as she said, she's under the weather and she's filling in for Councilmember Dos Santos Tam, who is in Germany as we speak, working on other issues facing the city. So I do want to thank Peggy and Tyler for taking this on when I reached out to them. So I really do appreciate this. And this will, like, we have a youth commission at the city and county of Honolulu. We have a youth commission at the state, and the same thing with the city, the commission on the status of women. So again, give Tyler my gratitude. I'm sorry, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam, our gratitude. And thank you for coming online today, even though you are sick. That is dedication.
Yeah, that really is.
I'm sorry, I really want to be there with you folks. So I'm glad I could participate this way and share the information. So thank you for having me, and I will pass on that message to Councilmember.
Rick?
I just had a question in general. With with these kinds of issues on the ballot, does this follow the same protocol where it has to be more than 50% of all votes cast, or just a clear majority? Does anybody
I
know?
can check and put that in the chat too during the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but it's my understanding, the only thing is 50% of the total majority plus one are constitutional amendments. That's how the Supreme Court ruled. But they may have come down with another ruling since the time I've read that, so. Should ask them.
All right, moving on to ongoing business and updates. First, we have update on progress for hiring the administrative assistant 2 position. You can check the board packet for information on what the job is and any information that people have questions on. Do we have any public testimony on this?
The only update we have is that we're still looking. Like you just heard from Peggy, this would help make this commission move a lot smoother if we had a staff person, even at 50% time, because we'd be sharing that staff person with the Commission on Fatherhood. So get the word out there, please. And we do share it from time to time on our social media. And so we are still in the process of looking for somebody for that position.
All right, that was the update. Do we have any public testimony on the hiring of an administrative assistant? Perfect. All right. Next is update on commission's website.
Just a reminder, send me anything you have you want up there from the commissioners, as long as it's within our scope. And yeah.
All right, do we have any public testimony on the update of our commission's website? Don't see anything. All right. Next is update on letter to Maui Preparatory Academy donors regarding Maui Prep's anti-LGBTQIA+ policies for students.
Those letters are still in the process of going out. Again, it helps if you have staff, but
yeah.
Yeah, we'll get getting those letters out before the finish of the holiday season.
Okay. Any public testimony on update on letters to Maui Preparatory's Academy regarding Maui Prep's anti-LGBTQIA+ policies for students? Nope. All right. Next is update on queer community leaders meeting and responses to participants questionnaire. See board packet for that. Go and take a look and see. Any updates?
I hope everybody reviewed, we sent out that link to everybody that we had for email addresses for organizations. We did get a bunch after last month's scheduled meeting. There's some really good feedback in there. Since that's Camaron and Shanda. That are working on it, that we, like, the big thing was making sure people had enough, time and enough advance notice, because this was a quick turnaround for the one at UH. And so, we need to get more advance notice. And that, it's my understanding that somebody's already scheduled there's already somebody volunteered from Hawaii County for, January. But since Cameron's not here, Shanda, do you have any information on that?
I have that information that I believe there is someone, but I honestly don't know anything. I'll reach out to Camaron.
Okay. Yeah, and just everybody review that as we move forward. There's we got to do a better when advertising and making sure people understand that for this community leaders meeting, Pauhana, that they can participate, well, no matter what county they're in, and that will always be a Zoom piece. So
I do believe that there is a meeting in January for a Big Island partner, or Hawaii Island partner is going to be hosting that soon. But we will definitely get more information out to everyone. Cameron will say about that. All right, any public testimony on the update on queer community leaders meetings and responses to participants questionnaire? Seeing, all right. Next,
I'm not public, but I have a question.
Okay. all right.
So I thought that I thought the comments really spoke to the purpose of the meeting. So some people were frustrated at the allocation of time, and I get that. And depending on what our goal is, we should either change or not the time allocation. So if our goal is to kind of highlight the member that is hosting, then that's one thing. But if our goal is to allow a greater time for collaboration amongst all participants, then that would be different priorities. So what do we think?
Well, the initial purpose of this is supposed to be not to, we of course allowing whoever to highlight it, but I think it becomes more of us as, since we're not actually running the meeting, since under Sunshine, we can't. It's our host, but just having that conversation with the host saying that 10% of the meeting or less than 10% of the time of the 2 hours is that, and that the rest of the time is supposed to be hearing from the different different communities, organizations, what they're doing, especially as we head into the legislative session and as we head into what are other ways to advocate, as we just heard from Peggy, for Honolulu and the Charter Commission, what other Con-Ams may be coming out with these, and what are other ways for us to advocate and have our voices heard as a community, and just respond to that was the impetus behind this, is how do we respond as a community, know what we're all doing. And when we're racing through all that, and I think the responses spoke loud and clear that we had to race through all the different people, what they were up to. And we got to remind people that you don't get up there and tell us your entire life story about your group started. It's name of your organization and what are your highlights? What are you working on right now? Not what you're thinking about, but there's things that we can actually collaborate together. Because people think about a lot of different things that never hit the ground running. So that was the impetus behind creating the Pauhana series. And that I think we need to make sure that we have that conversation with whoever's hosting, that this is a great opportunity for you to highlight your organization, but we have to be cognizant that everybody needs at least equal, not equal time, but time to be able to not race through. Because we're like doing, for those that weren't able to make it, we had to do speed round to get through everybody within the 2 hours. And if the co-host wants to do something like that, then they just start earlier and let everybody know, okay, from 5 to 6, we're gonna give you a highlight of everything we're doing at our organization or what's happening. That, and then so people know that then at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 8 or whatever, or 6 to 7:30, we're doing the review. Everybody gets to review.
That makes sense. Anyone else have? I want to make sure that I get everyone's input since I'm working with Camaron with the new agent.
Yeah, Shanda. Hey, it's Rick.
Yeah.
No, I just would, I agree with what you're saying. I like the idea of having a host. And I think at the last meeting, because we had an honored guest who was sharing a lot of information that was new to us, I think they did let that particular presentation extend beyond what we normally might do. But I like the Michael's idea of saying, if we have a 2-hour meeting, maybe have 10 to 15 minutes for a present at the host. And certainly, yeah, this is something we could bring up at the next one. And as soon as I'm sorry, I forget who's hosting the next one, but somebody told me already. But just make sure that we bring this up as an idea to say. But I noticed too that when we went around the round, some people were giving the history of their group. And so people do that, I think, maybe, which is important, and I like it, but I think it is good to know that on a time.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I'm gonna see how they feel about maybe us being able to submit ahead of time a blurb so that we can all have a blurb about our organization that would be available electronically so that everyone can have that and we don't have to all say it out loud, almost like our board packet. But obviously it'll be their choice, but we can influence.
For the minutes, Philip is now with us at 3:06 p.m.
Thank you. I was just about to do that, so thank you. All right, okay, moving on, we have next is the update on addressing the needs of our communities in Kapuna, especially Mahu, trans, non-binary, and intersex.
Aloha. So we are moving forward on trying to find, and oh, I didn't include it in the board packet this month, but trying to find a location for the next sage table, which is the intergenerational meal, primarily focused on including our LGBTQ plus Kapuna and creating opportunities for them to participate with a little bit more and reduce isolation. And then Rick represented us at the Mayor's Craft Fair. If Rick, you want to speak up about how that went?
Sure. So the Mayor's Craft and Art Fair is a function that they have at the Blaisdell, and they invite all of the senior citizen groups from Parks and Recreation. So all of the seniors each of these groups have clubs of Kapuna who meet and engage in activities, social events, and each of the groups was allowed a space to sell items. So it was a big sale, but more it was a time to get together. I'm going to say it was very well attended. There was a couple thousand people over the course of the day. It was all morning. It went till 2, and they watch you. Like I tried to sneak out early. Nope, the lady comes. But they have all of these selling things. Then they had a whole section of tables of service providers, healthcare providers, social service providers, the University of Hawaii Center for Aging, the YMCA. They had all of these different groups. So we were visible. We didn't have that many people come to my booth, and I can't help but think it was because we didn't have very much swag to give away. Other people were giving bags full of stuff. But people at least saw our sign. They saw us there. I'm going to say probably over, maybe, I don't even know how many, but not that many. Maybe 30 people all day came and asked me what we were. But a lot of people came and looked at our sign and then go, oh, and walked away. but at least we were there. So it was a nice event. It was good.
Great. Thanks, Rick. And yeah, and if anybody wants to participate in our monthly meeting, which is focused on the needs of the state's LGBTQ plus Kapuna, the email address that you can email to get put on the invite list is agingasgmhawaii@gmail.com, I believe. And that will put you on our mailing list, and you're welcome to participate. We would love to have your input.
Thank you.
Oh, before we move on, Shanda, I'm still waiting on stuff for the website for we voted to post, and so I still need all the verbiage and links to for all the different things we voted on to support Kapuna.
Oh, for the self-attestation form and the Sage table.
Yeah.
Got it. I thought I sent that. Sorry, I will resend or send originally.
Wonderful, thank you. Do we have any public testimony on update on addressing the needs of our communities in Kapuna? I don't see any. All right, next item is update on commission's 2025 Pride participation. We had our city and county of Honolulu Pride, which was Saturday, October 18th, 2025. We didn't do this update in our November meetings. We had to call it short, so updates on that. We'd like to do that.
We have a larger contingent this time for 2026. It's my recommendation that we look at partnering with on other commissions or state agencies to help defer the cost of the booth as well as covering the space. But if we're gonna do that, we're gonna need everybody on board. And that means it's something or another. We gotta figure that out. And so one person in charge of the unit and one person working with the other groups to making sure, because the capital outlay on that's gonna be for the booth, and depending on how many other organizations and who has the funds to actually like. Hawaii Civil Rights Commission would be great to co-sponsor with them, but they don't have extra funds. Sort of thing, so. That's things for everybody to think about.
All right, well, commissioners, think about that. We can revisit this in January, maybe parcel out some preliminary roles so that we can get this rolling. And then move forward with contacting them. Thank you, Michael.
Oh, it was great that we were all together for our first time.
Yeah,
Our first and only time.
well, I was gonna say, that was a really great opportunity to be able to see everybody. It was good to be able to take pictures and see everyone, get to know everyone a little bit better. I agree. All right, any other updates from our Pride excursion from October for Honolulu? Especially any of our off-island commissioners who came maybe for the first time. Oh, all right. Okay, do we have any public testimony about our update of the commission's 2025 participation for Honolulu Pride? I don't see any. All right, next is update on collecting hate crimes data discussion. All right, this is something that I was hoping would be have a legislative update for that, but I don't have anything for that. Does anyone have any updates for that? Do you have any updates on?
No,
Sam?
I've left, yes, I'm sure they'll lead on that.
Yeah, all right, I don't have any updates for now. All right, do we have any public testimony update of collecting hate crimes data discussion? All right. Update on Hawaii's Department of Education actions taken or to be taken in response to the required certification to end all diversity, equity, and inclusion. Excuse me. Diversity, equity, and inclusion practices to receive federal funding.
This is Rhonda. I think I'm speaking to that one. We no longer are doing DEI. We've changed our title. The person who is doing it is providing training, but not specifically on DEI, but still on like making sure that when kids speak to each other, they do it in a respectful manner. And in terms of, you know, saying that certain racial terms or LGBTQ terms be used in a positive light, not where just putting awareness out there. So that's what we're doing.
And like we heard last month is that all our non-discrimination laws are still in effect.
Yes.
And nothing has changed for our public schools either, correct?
Yes, correct. And we
Great.
still are following all the LGBTQ guidance. It's kind of status quo. We just are not, I know we aren't giving trainings that are labeled DEI or called DEI.
All right. Any public testimony on the update on Hawaii's Department of Education's actions taken or to be taken in response to the required certification to end all diversity and inclusion practices to receive federal funding? I don't see any. Okay. Next is our 2026 legislative priorities. We should be seeing the board packet for that, which has a link. Can we pull up? Oh, I mean, I pulled it up, but I can't access it. So.
While you're doing that, moving forward in January, we're gonna be listing out all of our priorities. Again, like we did last legislative session on the agenda, so if you're a lead, be prepared to provide at least some type of update for each of the things. The one thing that I had is that in my conversations at UH Mānoa for the National Coming Out Day with the School of Social Work, I'm working on those conversations about the educational piece for our social workers when it comes to making sure And they were totally behind that, of making sure when people get their certification or recertified, that they at least have a basic understanding of the alphabet soup. And understanding in that, that's what they've been doing in other states, making sure so people aren't turned away by a social worker or a clinician for mental health care. And so school event. I forget who I talked to. It was 2 months ago. So anyway, so we're working on that, and I have been in conversations with him. But yeah, so I know Rick said he was gonna did not want to do that, so I will, I make the motion that I be the lead on that, and I will work with the schools, with the UH Mānoa.
All right, I make a school.
Okay. Oh, wait, discussion? Okay, thank you. Again, we can discuss this now or no, before we vote?
We're not voting yet. We do need a second so that we can go into discussion. Do we have a second?
Okay.
Thank you, Philip, for making a second, and we can go into discussion. Go ahead, Rick.
Yes, the consideration in this point, first, it is a very important issue, mental health care, making it accessible. The consideration is not that we don't need mental health care and people don't need access. The consideration is that this particular requirement, but I understand the legislation's intent is to arrange for a licensure requirement that providers get a basic introduction to issues affecting the LGBTQ plus community as part of, and you have to take a course that would in your continuing education. What we found, and that's the piece I would be interested, because I also discussed with providers from the university and with other providers, and it's never been an issue, at least to the best of anyone I can find knowledge, so I would be interested, that LGBTQ individuals were being turned away because providers were saying, oh, I don't know how to counsel an LGBTQ person. If they were being turned away, it was frequently for insurance purposes, or it might be a personal bias or prejudice on the part of the provider, which wouldn't be changed by training. Further, in checking the last 3 years of the state of Hawaii's 2 major healthcare conferences that were and gave the CEUs, both one was paid and one was free, what we found was that both of them included LGBTQ tracks for training. So you can get the training, it's okay. And right now I checked, at least for social work, the only specialty requirement is to have a specialty requirement for ethics. They no longer require, they never did, they don't require, after your initial exam, competency in geriatric care, pediatric care, cultural competency. Those things are not required as a condition of recertification or relicensure. It's not the certification, but to renew your license, you take CEUs. Only specialty CEUs that are required that I can find in social work or in MFTs or in mental health counseling is the one on ethics. So I think it's okay to support. My suggestion will come later. I definitely think this is something supporting care and training for our mental health providers in issues affecting the LGBTQ plus community is a very important issue. I think we should support that, but I don't think that we're going about it the right way with the licensure requirement. I also go ahead and want to specifically address what I did discover and what I did hear was that there wasn't information and knowledge on the part of providers in treating issues affecting the transgender community. That was an area where I think there was less knowledge and familiarity amongst the providers that I discussed this with and the groups I talked to. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Well, instead of talking to providers, I've been talking to members of our community that have been denied. They've reached out to mental health professionals and they're like, oh, I don't deal with that. I don't even understand it. And this is And it's something that we've been dealing with for years. And that people, they're being denied basic mental health access because they're a member of our community. And so by taking that, at least help taking away that roadblock. So I'm not going to the mental health professionals. I'm actually talking to members of our community that are saying, and I'm taking them at their word because it's consistently over the years from county to county, especially for our those that don't live on Oahu or don't have access to telehealth now. Or is that making sure that this is not an excuse for them not to be able to at least talk to a mental health professional? And that is what the main goal of this is, helping remove that barricade. And we hear it from and this goes back to building that relationship with the Hawaiian community, because there are people that do mental health professionals that say, oh, I can't help you, I don't understand Native Hawaiian issues. So that this would be in working in collaboration of building that. And we have, especially seeing what we're seeing at the national level, that we need to get back to making sure that these mental health professionals don't turn somebody away just because what community they come from. And if they need a specialist, that's something different, but yeah, so.
Okay. Yeah.
Shanda.
Shanda, then Rick.
Aloha. I have to agree with Michael that lots of people are turned away. Unfortunately, I have patients all the time that have been turned away by mental health providers, especially our trans and gender expansive folks. Those are the ones that are like, oh, I don't know anything about that. Well, it's very frustrating when a mental health provider says, I don't know anything about transness, when they're there because they were raped or they have depression or they're hearing voices or whatever, and it has nothing to do with their transness. So that's ridiculous. So it's unfortunately totally a thing. And also, I also agree with Rick that I'm not sure a CEU licensing requirement is going to address that. It's really easy to click through something. There's not a lot of evidence that mandated trainings like this do a lot to change the needle. And I'm not sure that there might not be a better use of our efforts to train folks that are interested and improve capacity for those that are interested rather than mandate training for those who are not interested, and it's not going to change how they behave.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you. Yes, I agree with both. Well, again, like I did see that when talking to people, I did find people who said that they had trouble dealing with the trans community. They didn't quite understand where they were going with that. And also, I also did find that individuals who didn't want to treat members of our community for whatever bias or skewed perspective they might have, were not going to be changed by this requirement. It wasn't that they didn't know gay people, but I agree. I agree that we need something, and I agree this is an issue. I also think that the way to address increasing mental health access is not to make this a CEU requirement. I do think that we should be seeing how we can kind of assist in spreading that around and making sure that, again, we have a lot of people who are asking people for care and being turned away. I didn't hear as much about Native Hawaiian care, but I hear a lot every day of people being turned away in my current job too. And I did at Castle and I did at the VA in mental health. Finding a provider was difficult. And I think that it wasn't a case of these people not, oh, I don't know any gay people, I don't see any gay people. I think it was a case of individuals either through not being able to pay for their care, they're having full caseloads. And this is with the exception of the trans community, it present some new kinds of challenges to providers wanting to learn about it. But I think that the goal is good. I think we should keep the goal. I just don't think that this particular, I don't see that we're going to be addressing that goal with this law. But again, that's just what I've been able to pick up from both patients that I see, patients I've referred and patients that my colleagues refer, and from talking to the therapist and the providers involved.
And just to remind everyone, right now, we are discussing this amongst the commissioners. Once we move on to public testimony, those of you who are part of the public, who have your hands up, we'll be moving to you, so you'll know we're not ignoring you. We're just waiting for your section to come up. All right, back to commissioners. Do anyone else? Nope. All right, so no more updates.
No, no, there's a motion on the floor.
Oh, that's right, sorry.
Since-
I got
yeah.
confused, I got distracted. by
So
what's happening.
Robin,
Okay, so Robin, we are now in the public testimony part, so go right ahead, you'll have 1 minute. Once you're unmuted, obviously.
let's see, let's go.
And this is a discussion on the motion of Michael taking the lead on this. Any other public discussion will need to be held for whatever that topic will be.
I can, let's see what I hate this.
All right,
Robin,
Robin.
let's try this
you have-
one more time.
I think you. Okay, Robin, you have 1 minute for public testimony regarding Michael taking lead on this. Go right ahead.
Oh, this computer. I'm gonna go ahead and make you cause just for this topic. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Now. Robin, go ahead. Unmute yourself. Okay, Robin, going once, going twice. Sold.
All right. Is there anyone else who wants to provide public testimony for Michael taking lead? I don't see anyone. All right, so let's vote. For the commissioners, everyone who is in favor of Michael taking lead, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone who does not want Michael to take the lead, say nay. Do we have any abstentions?
One abstention.
Rick is abstaining. All right. It passes. Michael is in
Okay.
taking lead. So thank you, Michael.
One quick update for everybody. Been working with the coalition to pass gender affirming care. The coalition's been meeting with legislators. We will have some new updates in January. If you want to, the coalition is being led by Abby Simmons. She is chair of the Stonewall Caucus of the Democratic Party of Hawaii. If you want to, if you are from an organization and want to be part of that, please let us know. If you're, or you can reach out to me, or reach out to the commission and we can also get you in contact with that. I do want to point out back to, that I put into the board packet under things is that we did now have the largest labor endorsement for this shield law with the Hawaii State AFL-CIO. They passed it at their convention at the beginning of November. And they fully support protecting access to gender affirming care. So we're building the coalitions there. So there's that. And everything else. The other thing I have is still working with negotiating on drafts for the expanding the commission from 8 voting members to 11. And it's no longer going to be giving a commissioner to the Senate President and Speaker of the House. There was some pushback from both chambers on that. So it's just going to be like every other commissioner is being appointed by the governor with some with with reserving one spot for someone at the age of 35, and there's been and then one for West Hawaii, and one for East Hawaii County. So that's the things I'm working on, expansion there.
Any other commissioners?
Oh, Rick has his hand raised.
Great, go right ahead.
Oh, thanks. But I'm getting off and Kathleen's getting off next year. I see it's later in our thing, but we can certainly look for people from those groups, a young person, even though some of you are young, and somebody from the West Side or wherever. That would be a good idea, maybe when we're looking at replacing us on the commission.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, because Rick and Kat are leaving. And
Well, we'll be discussing that later in the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, is that
it?
Mhm.
All right. Any public testimony on 2026 legislative priorities? We have a Bronson. Yeah, 1 minute.
Let's see.
Once you're
There you go.
unmuted, obviously.
Hi, my name is Bronson Purcell. I use he, they pronouns, and I'm testifying in support of the Commission continuing to prioritize support for gender affirming care and access to it in the coming legislative session. I'm just testifying as a member of the LGBTQ community who's concerned about how anti-transgender rhetoric, especially under this administration, often alleges a lot of dangers to LGBTQ children while ignoring the reality of dangers that our children do face. You know, the 2024 survey results from the Trevor Project showed that 1 in 3 transgender and non-binary youth between ages 13 to 24 seriously considered suicide. So opponents to this as a legislative priority often don't understand the range of services involved, the care involved, and the fact that parental consent and informed practices are vital to it. So thank you to Commissioner Shanda for reiterating this earlier, and to the Commission for your continued efforts in this.
Thank you, Bronson. And under time, well done. All right, any other public testimony? I don't think I see anybody. Okay, no, I don't see anybody. All right, moving to the next update from Hawaii Coalition for Civil Rights.
Hey, I'd like to speak to that. I've been having trouble connecting with any current or active members. There is a group, I have received one email, and I've tried their Facebook post and message. So I don't know if they actually have ongoing meetings or not, or where those are. So I'm having a little trouble communicating and need a point of contact.
Okay, so you did not receive any of the emails that I sent you. I must have put your email in there incorrectly. You haven't received any communications from them with that. All right, let me look into that because they meet every Friday at 8:30 a.m. I sent you a Zoom link, so I'll resend that Zoom link to you and hopefully we can get you connected. So be prepared to meet this Friday at 8:30 a.m. Just so that you have that in your calendar. All right, any public testimony on where's my page here? Any public testimony on update from Hawaii Coalition for Civil Rights? I don't see any. Going to the next thing. We have an update on statement condemning medical.
Robin has their hand raised.
Oh, Robin, I apologize. I did not see you. Robin, you are available for.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I apologize. They were playing with my phone and they turned off the mic. Anyways, my question to you is, I was in the restroom the other day and it looked like a person of the opposite sex. Is there any laws or what can we do to help the situation? There was people kind of snickering and things like that. So I'm just curious, how do you guys answer that?
I don't understand the question.
So I was in the restroom the other day and it appeared to be the opposite sex. And my question is, how do we help those people because people were teasing them or her or him. I don't know which, but anyways, I felt sorry for the person and Just curious how to help that situation.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So you're asking kind of a two-part question. Are there laws that protect and what to do in a situation when you find yourself in that situation? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's no laws. I know that if the women's restroom or the men's restroom were too busy, I go into either one. I mean, personally, I just use either one myself. In that situation, it all will depend on how safe you feel. And I would imagine if there is violence, you would need to call 911, security in the situation of the place where you are to make sure that there is kind of some kind of support security wise for you. Is there anyone else who would like to answer that question?
Sure. Hawaii state law allows you to use whatever bathroom matches your gender identity. And so that's state law. There's no law that, like if you're at the a concert and there's a long line for the women's restroom, women are more than allowed to go in it if they dare sometimes use the men's restroom and vice versa. So in the incidents that you pointed out, I would recommend letting the person know that you're an ally. You're there to help and you're there to making sure that they know that someone has their back. So that is and anybody caught in that kind of situation where they're being harassed, no matter their gender identity, sexual orientation, or any minority status, always looking for an advocate or an ally in those situations. So it's how you feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable in intervening, that there should be some type of, if it's a government building, there should be security somewhere. Or like Sandy said, call 911. If you think
Thank you.
You don't know if that, you never know what words do turn into violence.
Yeah.
So
one last question. What law is that so I could state that law to the person? Is there?
It's our public accommodations law. It's Hawaii Revised Statute. I'm not on my computer. It's listed on our, if you go to our webpage, all the non-discrimination policies laws are listed and they're also enforced by the Hawaii Civil Rights Commission.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
And I just wanted to reinforce, I think that's very compassionate and kind. And that's really our whole job here, is to try to improve compassion and kindness to everyone so that we can all feel comfortable. I've had plenty of experiences of people with me in the women's restroom just looking a little bit too butch and getting grief by the people around them. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, any other public testimony regarding, sorry, I need the wording 1 second, regarding.
What's like it? No.
I guess that was the.
Hawaii, well, that was that actually under the Hawaii Coalition for Civil Rights.
Coalition for Civil Rights.
So nothing else on that.
Yeah, any other public testimony for that? Okay. Moving on to the next, which is update on statement condemning medical organizations abandoning Mahu, transgender, gender non-conforming, QTPI plus community. Update on that. Shanda, did you send the letter?
I submitted a letter last time we came, and I did not turn that into a pretty letter on letterhead. I was unaware that would be my kuleana, and I will reach out to try to figure that out.
Okay, so we did vote to send yours. So once you, what support do you need from the commission in order to get that letter out?
I guess I just need to know how to put it on letterhead. I can talk to you after offline in a way to do that, but I don't know how to make that happen.
Okay, perfect. All right. Any public testimony on the update on statement condemning medical organizations abandoning Mahu transgender, gender non-conforming QTPI plus community?
Yeah.
Yes, go right ahead.
Oh, it's more,
No, go ahead.
okay, more of a question than a statement.
Okay.
How do I go about getting a copy of that letter once it's an official document?
Okay, so, well, you can definitely access our board packets are up from past meetings, correct? Yeah, just want to make sure that's still up. So you can access our board packet from, that would be October.
I'd like to
have
actually
a letter.
on the letterhead.
Okay,
Official one.
once we have that, that'll also be on our website. Yeah, so we will put that forward, let people know in the public that it's up there. We'll also have it on our social media, things like that. So, but you can also contact Shannon to direct. All right, well, thank you. All right, any other public testimony regarding, let me get the update on statement condemning medical organizations abandoning Mahu, transgender, gender non-conforming, QTPI plus community? Nope, all right. Next is update on letter and or meetings with medical organizations in Hawaii.
I have an appointment on next Thursday with the Hawaii Association of Professional Nurses to garner their support for the gender affirming care, for gender affirming care in general, and the proposed legislation, and try to get them to sign on. I also am sending a letter to the Healthcare Association of Hawaii and the Hawaii Primary Care Association now that we have something for them to support. So to reach out to them to get them hopefully on board with that.
Thank you, Shanda. Any other updates? Shanda was taking point on that, but I just want to make sure none of the other commissioners have. Okay, perfect. Any public testimony on update on letter and or meetings with medical organizations in Hawaii?
Oh, sorry, on the last one, going back to Kay,
Okay.
Shanda, did you, at the time we voted, Kat was not at that meeting when we gave them the Kat and I believe Joe were not at that meeting. Giving them the opportunity to leave their name on that or take their name off. So before that letter gets posted, because we list everybody on that letter, so making sure that before that gets sent out or put on any official vehicle, that they have the opportunity to keep their names or remove them.
I'm fine with keeping mine on.
Same.
Well, there you go. Perfect. All right. Well, that's taken care of. Okay. Back to, okay, so we didn't have any more public testimony for the update for letters and meetings and medical organizations in Hawaii. So going next to the next one is update on attendees to 2026 Creating Change Conference, Unstoppable in Washington, DC, January 21st to 25th, 2026.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that a bit. Again, we talked about this back in October. We didn't get to discuss it in November. And this is the thing, at the time we talked about this, I understood that we were making sure that we were offering it to members. I've already been to one of these. Michael and I went last year. And I was thinking there were going to be other people going besides us two who hadn't had the opportunity yet. What's happened is I have received quite a bit of feedback and discussion regarding how much money we spend on travel for our commissioners.
Rick, you keep on going, your voice
Keep
goes.
going in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I'll try to speak a little louder. I have been getting some feedback and discussion regarding the use, spending this amount of money on travel. For example, one person said, wouldn't this money be better spent sponsoring and hosting a training locally to provide providers like social workers, therapists with information about transgender care? And I said, well, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that, and I didn't know how much work would be involved to do that. And I have learned that it is quite feasible, like to contract with a partner agency, let's say HHHRC, and have something at the airport, as long as we're not bringing in outside providers from the continent. We could host, for the money that we're spending, we could host a training. And I'm thinking about issue we were talking about earlier, where we could say, this is an area where we would like to see more providers being able to be knowledgeable about providing mental health and support services to transgender community. And by working with the group, and I know that they have a something journey day that they have once a year. Shanda might know what the name of that is. And that comes up in the summer. I know we have to spend the money before June. And putting together, so I've talked to a few people about this, and they said it is feasible to put some like a one-day training. We could offer it for free, possibly get CEUs as a enticement for people to come, all for the amount of money that we're spending on travel. So right now, I'm not sure how much exactly it is for this trip, but I just wanted to float this, and I don't know that we discussed it very much. I think that when we heard about this meeting, some of us had gone last year, and I was saying I certainly would have supported any of our other commissioners who wanted to attend as an experience and to kind of get a feel for what it's like nationally to go. But I've been before, so I'm not, it wouldn't hurt me not to go.
Thank you, Rick. A couple of things. One, Shanda's going as well, and two, this would be a good thing for.
Shanda's.
Oh, she's
pulled up.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I misread that whenever you sent that information. It's my dyslexia. Sorry about that. So is there another commissioner that we could send and place this late? I'm guessing not. So also, that would be another thing that we can add to new business for our next meeting for January, Rick. That please submit that. And we can include other partner organizations like Partners in Care and things like that. They can help us with that. 'Cause there's some organizations on Oahu that can help us host this information. So please submit that so that we can discuss that at our next meeting and possibly creating this as something that we do for 2026. Any other updates other than Shannon not going and me completely misreading that?
I would like to say that's not the reason that I'm not going. However, I love that idea of us putting our resources into something like that to improve mental health access and gender trans competence amongst providers. I'm more than happy to help with that as much as I am able.
Excellent. All right. Rick and Shanda, please submit that for January so that we can add that to our agenda to discuss and create
Because we cannot discuss that anymore. That is not an agenda item.
Yeah.
We're only talking about, unfortunately, per sunshine law, what's on the agenda.
Exactly.
No, exactly. Well, I guess that's what I'm saying is with regards to my attendance right now I'm approved to attend, and I actually out of my own pocket paid the registration already. But I would be, I just wanted to say, so there's a possibility that if we could do so, if we thought that that was something we could, it would affect my going to this conference. So I would have to.
I don't think it would affect your going because anything that you glean from that is only going to benefit us in anything that we do in 2026. So just because we want to do something here in the state does not mean nationally we cannot network and glean information.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I just was thinking about we might need that money. I don't know how much we have.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Rick. All right. Any other updates on attendees?
Philip's raising his hand.
Okay. Thank you, Philip. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I just, because I was not at last month's meeting, who is going?
Rick
Is anyone
and
go?
Michael.
Rick and Michael.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And my update is that I have filled out all the paperwork and I am volunteering the 2 shifts to get the free registration. They are putting us in the hotel right across the street from where the convention's happening, which will be saving the commission money. And so, yeah, we're still waiting on them to finish processing our travel documents. Yeah, and we're now 33 days out. Well, sorry, 40 days out.
All right, and I'm sure Michael and Rick, you have augmented your perspective on this in light of the possibility of doing something here, so just keep that in mind if it's not one. All right, any public testimony on the update on attendees to the 2026 Creating Change Conference Unstoppable in Washington, DC, January 21st and 25th, 2026? I don't see any. All right, moving on to the next item, which is update from Commission Media Training.
It happened, and that's all we're gonna say.
Excellent. Any public testimony on the update from Commission Media Training? All right, I don't see any. Moving on to new business, our first item is discussion Hawaii State LGBTQ plus commissioner terms of appointment. So we have Rick and we have Kat who are leaving, I believe it's June is your last meeting, or is May your last? Okay, so June will be your last meeting, which means July, hopefully we'll have some new commissioners. And we also have one commissioner that is resigning, which I'm not sure if I can state that here yet because he has not officially resigned yet. So I'll leave that up to our next meeting. So potentially 3 spots will be filling, one pretty early in the year. And please continue with discussion with our commissioners.
Well, Philip's the one that asked for this to be on the agenda.
Okay, Philip, go right ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it came up at Pride. My commission doesn't expire until the 2028, and I kind of forgotten that other people may be leaving sooner or maybe up for leaving sooner. And I wasn't sure what that means and what the process is, so that's why I wanted to bring it up. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I don't know if Kat and Rick, like, what if somebody doesn't want to leave? Are they permitted to stay? And if there are vacancies, like, how are we marketing that idea? Are we supposed to look for people? I mean, it might be easier on Oahu. Here, it might be quite difficult to find somebody at the point that I resign, which I don't have plans to do, or my commission expires. So I just wanted to make sure we are like thinking about this and talking about it, so we don't end up with this huge gap and we can't find anybody to fill the pukas.
I appreciate that. Oh,
No.
oh, okay. I appreciate that, Philip. I apologize. I keep misspeaking. My blood sugar is about 45 right now, and I have no sugar to bring it up. So I am struggling with a bit of a low blood sugar right now. I apologize. So I'm having a little bit of difficulty with this meeting. So, Michael, would you like to take it from the administrative standpoint of what we do if we do not want to leave the commission, and if we are leaving the commission, how do you leave early?
Okay, if you're resigning your commission, you just send a letter to the governor, and it'd be great if you CC the chair that you are resigning in the effective date of your resignation. The governor has the authority to do an interim appointment depending on when your resignation comes out, but so yeah, and whoever goes in to fill that vacancy permanently would have to go through the confirmation process, and as we all saw, the confirmation process, they usually don't pick those up until later in the session. To replace somebody that's term is not up, if you are not going to be seeking reappointment, you just finish out your term and that's it. And there's nothing you need. It would be nice if you let us know if you were not seeking reappointment. Asking per Philip's question about how we go about doing this, we're going about doing this by advocating people to apply for all the commissions that they want to. You can apply for up to 3 commissions. We've been educating people about the commission process. If we need to bring somebody in to do a presentation, we can do that. I've had a couple of offers, people that have from the legislative side of it, to come in and to help, other people, not us, but the members of our community, to know how to go through this process, from that perspective. If you wanna apply for this commission or any other commission, we included all the links in the board packet. Please feel free to reach out to, you should be able to reach out to any of us to ask us for our Mānoa on how to do this, but yeah, that's basically it. Shanda has her hand raised.
Go ahead, Shanda.
I think it's a great idea for us to have somebody come in and maybe spend the first 5-10 minutes of our meeting educating the public on how to apply. I love that idea, Michael. Thank you for that. And then my question is, say, I don't know, Kaliko here, my imaginary friend, is a commissioner and their time runs out. If we don't have someone to replace them, do they just stay if they're willing? That's one question. And then the next one is how does it work if they want to stay? They put their name in the hat, and then where does that go? Who makes that decision?
Okay, let's see, the commission, the governor makes that decision. If it's somebody that wants to seek reappointment, you do have to put your name back in, if you want to serve another term. Yeah, and it's all spelled out on the commission's website, on the commissioners, to the governor's office about that. So yeah, the person that makes that call, if your term runs out and there's nobody to replace you, the statute reads that you can still, if you're willing to, can still continue to serve until you have somebody to replace you. If you're not willing to serve, then that's just, you're just not willing to serve and can't force you. So your time runs out and that's it. And so we would then go down to 7 voting members if somebody did not apply that to meet the criteria, depending on if it's a geographical or organization or age, whatever basis it is.
Kat?
So just in summary, for Rick and I, if we do not want to continue, we just don't unless we are needed until a substitute person comes in, and then we can. And if we do want to continue, we have to apply and go through the same process like we did initially, all over again for another term. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
And then one more, sorry to get so granular here. So let's imagine that Kaliko here reapplies. Is it realistic that is going to happen promptly? It's going to happen in time, because I'm assuming that the governor has lots of things on his, well, I know that the governor has lots of things on his plate. And do the commissions usually turn over promptly and on time?
It depends on the interest on the committee, on the commission. It depends on if there's people there to apply, if there's things, but they will usually, if there are people there. But again, if there are no applicants, there's no applicants. Like we saw, or there's a mass exodus from the commission and there's no bench there. So, I've never gotten an answer how long. You say you applied last time and you weren't selected. Is that your application still active? I don't have an answer to that. Lily, do you have an answer to that?
Hi, hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Can you guys see me?
Now we can see you.
Hi, okay. Thank you for the question. I'm looking at HRS section 26-34 under A and B. It kind of answers the questions that folks are asking. I don't know how to share on the screen, but it does say members of each board and commission established by law shall be nominated and, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, appointed by the governor. Unless otherwise provided by this chapter or law hereafter enacted, the terms of the members shall be for 4 years, provided that the governor may reduce the terms of those initially appointed so as to provide as nearly as can be for the expiration of an equal number of terms at intervals of 1 year for each board and commission. Unless otherwise provided by law, each term shall commence on July 1 and expire on June 30. Except that the terms of the chairpersons of the boards of Agriculture, BLNR, and Hawaiian Homes shall commence January 1, expire December 31. So they go calendar year instead of fiscal. No person shall be appointed consecutively to more than 2 terms as a member of the same board or commission, provided that membership on any board or commission shall not exceed 8 consecutive years. And B, it says any member of a board or commission whose term has expired and who is not disqualified for membership under Section A may continue in office as a holdover until a successor is nominated and appointed, provided that a holdover member shall not hold office beyond the end of the second regular legislative session following the expiration of the member's term of office. So I've had this situation in like other boards that I've counseled where the term expires and they're out of, it's out of session. So they're trying to ask the governor, can you sign something to appoint? But they can't do that without, and everything is with the consent of Senate, right? So they have to be in session or they have to have a special session. So they usually wait until the next session and that person will continue as a holdover until a new individual is appointed. Does that make sense? But then there is also that restriction, the deadline on it. It says it can't be beyond the end of the second regular legislative session following that expiration. So then, I mean, when it gets that technical, then I think I can just try and figure it out for you guys in terms of calculating.
But there's also midterm appointments that we've seen to help that the governor can do a midterm appointment when they're out of session. They become a member, but they still, that midterm appointment still has to go through the confirmation process if it's
Correct.
a new member.
That is correct. Vice Chair.
Okay. Philip, does that answer all your questions for today on this subject?
No, I just thought of another one. Is the current configuration in regards to representation from various islands, is that cast in stone? One from Kauai? Okay. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for taking that while I was taking care of my blood sugar. It's now 57, so it's at least 100 pounds. All right, let's see. That was the update for our, sorry, going back to the terms of appointment. Okay, do we have any public testimony on discussion of Hawaii State LGBTQ plus commissioner terms of appointment? Nope, don't see any. All right, next is the 2026 Queer Day at the Capitol. Okay, we have a few things that we need to do for this in order to tackle this one. First of all, we need a motion, we're gonna need a second, we're gonna need a discussion, we're gonna need a public testimony, and then we're gonna need to vote. So, do I have a motion to elect or to assign Vice Chair Michael Golojuch Jr. to oversee the project?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion, do I have a second? Michael did the motion, who's the second? Joe, thank you for the second. All right, let's have a discussion. Commissioners, do you agree, disagree? Well, no, that's later. Discuss the the appointment, sorry, still coming up.
Well, I think he did a great job last year.
I do too. I think.
And I'm assuming you're open to it.
Gonna do it as good a job personally, so yeah. All right.
Otherwise, to answer the question, yes, I agree to it. Otherwise, I would not have allowed it to be on the agenda. I would not, or make the motion. I'm gonna use this opportunity to just talk about another subject that was brought up earlier, because for Queer Day at the Capitol, if you remember back to the closeout report, is that we're looking at making this a full day. I've already been in conversations with other organizations about doing a panel in the morning, and it's good, a panel in the morning, have the tabling during the midday, and then another panel in the afternoon. And we're gonna be looking at doing it earlier in the year, early in the session, so it would be probably early February. So looking at what's available from DAGs. So depending on how this vote goes, so I can file the permit request. Just so everybody remembers, we've already allocated $1,000 out of our budget for this, which will help cover the costs of the rental of the tables. But we already, yeah, I will have a better update for you in January, but a lot of work's gonna be happening between now and January. Yeah, to put on, yeah, so there you go. So this will not have a continuing education credit to it right now. Just so everybody understands, any of those kinds of things costs money to do. To put on, and we're talking, yeah, so we'll get by cheap on this because we're getting the space for free. Because of the commission, since we're using the capital. And that we're now going to be able to expand it for hopefully for the entire day. So it is truly a queer day at the Capitol.
Any other discussion? All right, let's move on to public testimony for assigning Vice Chair Michael Golojuch Jr. to oversee the project of 2026 Queer Day at the Capitol. See any public testimony? All right, let's vote. All those commissioners who are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone say nay? Anyone abstaining? All right, we have a unanimous decision. Michael Golojuch Jr. will be overseeing the project 2026 Queer Day at the Capitol. Excited about seeing what's that will happen. Okay, next is future meeting topics or speakers. We have 2 speakers for January lined up. So for February, March, April, May, June, the rest of the month. If you come across anyone who's really making an impact or who needs to explain what they're doing or how to do something or how to access something or some kind of presentation that would be really beneficial to the people who are in our community, who would be here on the commission, please contact me and let me know, give me their name, tell me what it's about. We'll talk about them and what meeting it would be best for. Discussion.
Philip, are you raising your hand?
I was typing, but I just wanted to know that the Queer Day at the Capitol, is there a date?
Not yet. I gotta talk to Department DAGs.
Can you just, like, is there a month, like, kind of ish?
February.
Okay, thank you.
February. That's what we're looking at.
Perfect. All right, no more discussion.
Joe, yeah. Oh, sorry, Joe.
Oh, Joe does. Okay, go. Well, yes. All right, public testimony. We're opening up to that. And Joe, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much. The question I have, I guess, is would the commission be interested in some kind of public education effort on what I've been learning about recently and am very alarmed by, which it's known as National Security Presidential Memorandum 7, which is a directive by the White House to target civil society organizations, charitable organizations, nonprofits, advocacy groups, with investigations of potentially being labeled as domestic terrorist organizations. And you can imagine the kinds of things that they will be targeting, those that they consider to be ideologically opposed to their agenda. And it is explicitly stated in the memorandum, groups, for example, that hold views that they consider to be extremist on immigration, race, and gender, hostility towards those who hold so-called traditional American views on family, religion, and morality. Part of the way that they want to enact this is by working with local, state and local law enforcement organizations to cooperate with them in such investigations, and inviting, Americans to call a tip line to turn in groups, to surveil and turn in groups. So I guess my question is, how might we as a community do some public education on this, perhaps beginning by inviting, representatives from the state and or county governments to talk about if and how they're engaging on this and what we as a public need to know about it.
Thank you, Joe. We can add that to our January agenda so that we can discuss further and figure out some kind of game plan. Oops, sorry, that's your time. There we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, we'll add it to our agenda for January so that we can begin that discussion. Thank you so much for bringing that up today. All right, any other discussions from, or any other public testimony for 2026? No, wait, discussion on inviting government and non-government organizations, LGBTQ plus liaisons. No, all right, great. Joe, again, thank you for that idea. I think that's very, very important. So we're gonna follow up on that. All right, next.
And before, Joe, if you have any idea of who you think would be good speakers on that, please email us.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's gonna be a lot. All right, next is adjournment. Let's have a discussion.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Kathleen, Philip, Shanda, and Joe. And do we have public testimony on adjournment? All right, great. So everyone who wants to adjourn, vote aye.
Aye.
Do we have any nays? Do we have any abstentions? Look at that,
None.
unanimous again. Y'all have a wonderful Christmas, happy holiday, happy Hanukkah, any kind of holiday that you're celebrating. I hope you're having a wonderful, safe time.
Oh, and remember, this 12th is the 3rd anniversary of the Respect for Marriage Act. So, and then
Right. Thank you, everyone.
see you in the new year.
Oh.